Hello YouTube and welcome back to Thrust Vector Gaming. In today's episode we're gonna do some building. This is mainly gonna be a building video that will prepare for future missions. The one that I'm gonna do nearest in future here is I'm actually gonna go on a test to do a free return trajectory around the Mun. But I'm gonna build something here today, and if you think I'm sound a bit funky, that's because I've caught on to a cold here, so I'm a little bit sore in my throat. But I'm gonna try to do the best I can, really. And we're gonna go into the VAB here and start to build something. And I'm thinking of I'm actually gonna do kind of a I'm gonna do a sub-assembly. So you can see here under the advanced tab, we're going to have sub-assembly. So I'm actually going to build a sub-assembly which will be the rocket part, really, and so we can stick payloads on top of it. So in future videos, I only have to build the what do you call it, the payload, and then stick a sub-assembly under that, which is the rocket, which should be good for, well, lifting a couple of tons into orbit and hopefully do more than that. I want this to be a manned kind of rocket, so I'm gonna take the Mark II lander can because it is very streamlined. It will fit underneath the fairing for the payloads. So yeah, instead of going with like the Probodobodine Octo 2 here or any other remote guidance system, it's gonna be a manned rocket, really. So we're gonna have two guys going in this one. So underneath that we definitely need a heat shield. So we're gonna find that one somewhere. It's a 2.5 meter heat shield. Yep. Like so. And a decoupler on top or below that, I should say. I think it's Rockomax has a decoupler somewhere. That's the one, yes. Stick that on as well. And of course this can needs I'm gonna take a look here, because we take that one away and go into center of mass overlay. Yeah, it's pretty low actually, which is good. We need to stick on some parachutes. So radial mount parachutes here, and I'm gonna try to flip them. Yep. Symmetry mode. We need to turn on snapping as well. I'm gonna place them as high as I can. That, yeah, that looks good. And it is above the center of mass, so this heat shield will be pointing towards the ground when we're coming down. It's not gonna suddenly flip around and point into space or the sky when the parachutes deploy. Now we can stick this one back on like that and turn the center of mass off for a moment here. And on top of this, we also need a decoupler, I believe. I have a decoupler on here, like so, and a fairing on top of that for the payloads. So the 2.5 meter fairing. So, and I don't want to build that right now. Thank you. So, what shall we do now? We should stick some fuel underneath here. I think I'm actually gonna try with just one of these tanks to start with and see what happens. One of these and an engine underneath of that. So we're gonna go into engines, find ourselves. I don't know if the main sail is just too big. What else do we have? We have the poodle, we have the skipper, and well, not much more than that. Gonna see what the skipper does. It gives us 1.31, maybe a bit low thrust to weight ratio. But I believe if we stick on some boosters on here on the side, we'll solve that problem. So yeah, I'm gonna do that. Let's see here. Is it under structural? No. Coupling? Yeah, here it is. TT70 radial decoupler. Gonna stick that on as well. And then we're gonna find some boosters. Let's see here, boosters. This one maybe? Let's see here. Like so. And then we have to move our engine down as well, like this. Now we have 1.83, much better. And 1.63 there. Look at our delta V. We have 2,900 in that stage, 979 in that stage. So yeah, I'm gonna try to see what happens with this. I also need to strut it up, or it will probably be a bad day. We won't go into space. Like that, and the other side as well, like so. And we need a nose cone here, so under aerodynamics, I believe you have the aerodynamic nose cones. Yes, this looks fairly good, I think. I'm gonna stick on some wings here as well. Triple symmetry mode, pressing X on the keyboard here gives us that. And now let's see. Looks pretty good. I'm gonna take a look where the center of mass is on this one. It is fairly low, so I don't know if we're gonna flip this or not when trying to fly it, but we'll see. Build out the fairing here just for test purposes, like so. And we have sort of a nose cone there as well. And yeah, so what will happen? We start our engines, then we detach these ones while they have burned through all their fuel. Next thing is to ditch the fairing, and then we are decoupling on our way down again towards the planet, and then deploying the parachutes. Yeah, that looks good. So we're gonna have a test flight with this one. What shall we call it? Just give it a temporary name here, test craft, like that. And off we go. Actually, I should probably have put the starting clamps or whatever they are called on there. Should do that real quick. Go into reverse flight to vehicle assembly bay. Also see that I have a lot of other things up here. I'm gonna close them in just a minute. So let's see here. I think clamp. Yeah, launch stability enhancer. Where should I put those? On the boosters, maybe? Yeah. Oh. Like so. Symmetry mode on. So we have them on both sides. That's good. Try to launch once more. Close that one. I could probably leave this one open. Throttle up and turn on SAS, and off we go. That was not supposed to happen. We're gonna redo the staging here a bit. Whoop! What is happening? Why is it only attached to one suddenly? We'll fix the staging in here instead. So I'm gonna move that up to here. Start the engines first, then detach these ones. Yeah. Try once more. Okay, let's see here. We're gonna go in 3, 2, 1, and go. Release the clamps. Start a turnover immediately. Just gonna hold. Take a look at the thrust to weight ratio. I'm gonna throttle back down. I want it to be somewhere in the between 1.4 and 1.8, or so I've heard anyway. I'll throttle back even further here. Try to lean over a bit more as well. I'm starting to get weird oscillations here. And oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. What is happening? Yanked. Yanked. Once more. We are free. Okay, that part is still stuck to our lander here. So should flip that later on. Let's see, are we going up or down? We're going down. So parachutes open. Turn off SAS. Good opportunity for us to test here how fast we will go down once these has fully deployed. So we're at 12, 11, 10, 9.4 meters per second. That's a bit much, I believe, but we can always get us on the heat shield here, like so. Now we're down to 7.9. Still a bit too much. See what happens when we come down to the surface. And stop time acceleration. Touchdown 7.7, and yeah, it's good actually. So revert to vehicle assembly bay. That did not work as I wanted to. What shall we do then? I mean, if we look at the delta V here as well, 2,800 versus 964. Well, not versus, but added up. That's not even enough to really get us into orbit. I believe that it is 3,400 meters per second to get into orbit. So yeah, we're gonna ditch these and replace with something else. I think we're gonna go with maybe more rocket man, just fuel and regular liquid fuel engines. So stick on, I mean, additional tanks here on the side. I'm gonna try that. So let's see, fuel tanks and Rockamax Jumbo 64s. Symmetry mode turned on. Yeah, that looks good. We are clearing the wings. Yes, we are. And we're gonna find... Actually, Alt left click, I think. Yeah. Copy an existing part. Now we have 0.94, but let's see, we're gonna move that one. Now we're up to 142, which is, I think that's good, and 4,000 delta V. That is more than enough. As I said, we need 3,400, I believe, to get into a stable 80-kilometer high orbit around Kerbin. So that's almost enough fuel to also get us to the Mun. Yeah, I'm gonna stick on some nose cones here. Let's see. This one maybe? Yeah. Drop down a bit, 141 in thrust to weight ratio, but I think we'll do good anyway. And oh, we need some crossfeed here. Let's see, where does crossfeed come in? Is it under fuel tanks? Yeah, it is. Add a pipe here, fuel pipe. Like so. 141 and 130. Thrust to weight ratio. Got 2,000 delta V's and 3,400. That is a lot. Okay. Shall we try to fly this one? Yeah, I'm gonna try to fly this one. Launch. I just realized maybe I should take a look at my staging before we're launching here. Let's see, staging. Okay, engines first. That is good. Oh, the clamps did disappear. And I haven't strutted these, so disaster will strike. As you can see, if I just go into space, we'll try to go into space. These engines are wobbling back and forth, and disaster is gonna strike pretty fast. So cut that, go back into vehicle assembly bay. We need to strut it up here. Search for struts, and here it is. Symmetry mode, turn that one on. One strut there, and another one there. And also, I think I'm gonna put on the clamps. I'm gonna take this one and lower it a bit. Like so. Yep, that's good. Then we're gonna add the clamps here. Clamps. Put them on the sides like so. Yeah. Try to fly it once more. And now my staging is, of course, not in the right order. Move these ones up, start engine first, then detach these ones, and off we go. And here we are on our way to space. See what happens with this one. Thrust to weight ratio is within, I should say, good values. We're gonna start our turn here very soon, like so. And we're gonna keep a look at that. Gonna throttle back a bit, tiny bit here. And we're gonna fold over a little bit more at about 10,000. We want to be close to 45 degrees. Roll back a little bit more as well. Down to 1.6. This is much more stable than the earlier version here. I think we're at such an altitude that we actually can go full throttle now. Let's see what has happened. My controls has died for some reason. Why is that? I have guys in here, so my controls should be working. Although that I've lost contact with the surface. Well, we're gonna continue to ascend here with a stuck throttle. I have no idea what's happening. It seems to be controlled by, I don't know. Is MechJeb doing something? Okay. This one seems to be on, so that's weird. Let's see, stage, like so. And oh shit, we are up to 89 kilometers already, almost 90 kilometers. And with 3,000 Delta V left, this seems to be a monster, a really heavy lifter we've built ourselves. But we're also not anywhere near the speed we need to be in a complete orbit, so we can actually go out here and complete the full burn and see how much Delta V we have left after that. Putting up a maneuver node here, and as soon as the apoapsis and the periapsis are flipping, somewhere there, and release it. 82, 96, that is 97, 83, okay. 77, it's not gonna be a circular orbit here, but 94 and 80, yeah, that's good. And it's gonna be a 1 minute burn, so we'll have to pretty much start it directly here. Turn towards the maneuver node and start our burn now. I'm gonna keep an eye here on the apoapsis height and the periapsis height. As long as the periapsis goes above 70, I'm satisfied. Coming up here, and our Delta V left is pretty much, we'll have like 2,500 or something. Gonna cut the fuel, and 98.77. It's not a circular orbit, but we are in orbit anyway. So yeah, that looks good. We're gonna go back to the vehicle assembly bay. We have successfully built ourselves a heavy lifter, you should say, or you could say. Has a lot of Delta V left when we get into space. That's cool. I'm actually gonna go up here and remove the fairing right now. Delete fairing. And then we're gonna start to load in some stuff. We're gonna take a look here. The mass is I don't really know. 64,000 and 123,000. Could be the whole thing weighs 123,000 and the weight of the fuel is 64,000. Or something, I don't know. Well, anyway, the weight is at 123 there. We're gonna put some stuff in here and try to see what happens if we start to load it with stuff. I'm gonna find some really heavy things here. And do we have anything on the utility tabs? Lights, convertitron. What does that weigh? Let's see, it weighs 1.25 tons. That is 4.25 tons, but it's pretty huge. Just science. No, nothing that is really heavy. Oh, I know. There has to be something in here that's heavy. Let's see. We're building 2.5 meter things here, so that's 1.36 tons. That's pretty heavy, actually. Look down here. 1.4. Not as much then. Or actually, a bit more. Yeah, a bit more. Maybe 100 kilos or so. Supplies. That is 1.8 tons. Ooh, we're getting somewhere here. Let's see. Waste containers. They're pretty much empty, I believe. So, yeah. 750 kilograms. 4.75 metric tons. Water. Yeah, water. That has to be heavy. Ooh, 2.95 tons. And what is this? Carbon extractor. That can't be too heavy, is it? 1.44. So water is what we're gonna put on here. Almost 3 tons per unit here. So if I add maybe 4 or 5 of these. See here, 3 and 6, 9, 12, 15 tons. I have no idea what's gonna happen with 15 tons on here, but we'll see. Oh, and this one, I had to flip that, I remember now. So put it back, flipped around. So, gonna check our staging. Still staging separately. Bearing, I'm gonna build that one out here a bit, like so. No, apparently not. So, yep. And up to here. And make it a closure like that. Okay, let's see. Now we need to take a look at the staging here. That one should not be in there. We should ditch the fairing up there. Yep, that looks good. And engines, then release ourselves. Yeah. Now we're down to 1.26 thrust to weight ratio. That is a bit low, really. I'm gonna try and see. Maybe it can't take the 15 tons in payload. I'm also gonna see where the center of mass is on this one. It is pretty high actually, so yeah. I'm gonna test this one and see what happens. Here we are on the launch pad, enabling SAS stability control, and throttle up, and off we go. Come on. Oof, that is slow. Thrust to weight ratio at 1.3, so we're gonna have full throttle until we reach 1.7, 1.8, something. It's gonna start to slowly lean over here. See what happens. We're building some speed, but we need to get up maybe 300 before we start to lean over any further. Now we can start to lean over more. And we're up to 2, so we should lower the throttle a bit. Lower it even further, I believe. Yep. We don't want to reach too high of a speed before we're escaping most of the atmosphere. I'm gonna try to lean over a bit quicker here now. And as soon as these side tanks have burned through all their fuel, we're gonna roll back up to 100%. So that is about now. And we're ditching them, going into prograde here. Hopefully, at least I believe. Gonna take a look in the map view here. We're 1 minute away from the apoapsis and it is still rising, so yeah, I think that's good. We'll keep an eye on it and cut out on fuel once we hit 80 kilometers on the apoapsis. This is going beautifully well. I have to say, this is almost like a real-life ascent into orbit. We're going very flat here and accelerating very good. So I'm gonna start cut out on the fuel here now. We're coming up on the 80 mark. And cut the fuel completely now. Bit more like that, yeah. Couple of thousand meters left until we are into space. And we are officially in space now. That's good. Gonna circularize our orbit here. Zoom out a bit so I can see what I'm doing. Oh, too much. Like so. 78, 80. Yeah, that's good enough for me. Turn into the maneuver node here, and we're gonna start in about 20 seconds time. I'm actually gonna ditch the fairing here as well, so that those pieces can fall back onto the planet Kerbin. And full throttle now. Let's see here. Gonna take a look here on the Delta V. We have 1,100 left. So I don't know. See what happens when we have completed our burn. Coming down here, gonna slow down our burn a bit and cut. 79.9, 80.3. That is really good. Gonna try to burn a bit more here. Yeah, that is enough. We have 768 meters left here. And that is not quite enough to get ourselves into a trajectory towards the Mun. But we'll have to also think of the And the thing here that we actually have 15 tons of payload with us up here. So if we have a payload of half that size or weight, I think we have enough Delta V to actually get us to the Mun as well. So yeah, I'm gonna revert back to the vehicle assembly bay here. And I'm gonna ditch the fairing here, delete fairing, like so. Gonna zoom in, take away all this payload, and this is our sub-assembly. So now let's see how we can do here. I don't know if we should name it here or something. I'm actually gonna name it. I'm gonna name it the Upgoer 1. Might have spelled that wrong, but yep. I'm stealing the name from someplace. I'm not gonna tell you where. You can figure that out yourself. But I'm gonna call it the Upgoer 1. Feels that I've spelled this wrong, but can't for my life come to grips with how it should be spelled right now. Yeah. And then we're gonna go into the advanced tab, sub-assemblies. We're gonna take all of this and drop sub-assembly drop zone. No? How do you do that then? Drag and drop a part here to save it as a sub-assembly. No part selected. Okay. Why doesn't that work? Okay, we have it saved. I'm gonna figure that out off camera, how to get it into a sub-assembly, and then I'm gonna use it in my next video, which will be linked down in the description of this video. You will also see a little suggestion thing up here in the top right corner. So go check that one out when I take this one on a free return trajectory to the Mun. That will be in my next video. Until then, have a great weekend. Bye.